There are moments in football that catch you completely off guard, not because of what happened on the field, but because of what happened off it. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening here, so hit the like button if you can't wait for the Falcons to hit the field. I don't know about you, but I miss watching a good game. Now, let's get right to the news. What if I told you that amidst trade rumors of decline, and fans ready to move on, one man came back to Flowery Branch and surprised the Falcons fans? That's exactly what Kirk Cousins did. No cameras, no PR campaign, no grand entrance, just a quarterback, lacing up his sneakers, walking into voluntary workouts like someone with something to prove. After a second half of the season in which many fans called for change, Cousins' return is not a story about statistics, but about resilience, tension, and maybe redemption. Let's rewind. Kirk Cousins arrived in Atlanta with sky-high expectations and a contract that resonated around the NFL, a 4-year, $180 million deal that screamed franchise savior. And early on, he looked like he could be just that. The Falcons started 6-3, with Cousins delivering what may go down as one of the most explosive games in recent franchise history, 509 passing yards and 4 touchdowns against the Buccaneers. The city lit up, the fans believed again, and for a brief moment, it looked like Atlanta had found the missing piece. But then the bottom fell out. The magic turned to mayhem. In the next 5 games, Cousins threw just 1 touchdown and a staggering 9 interceptions. Confidence waned, frustrations mounted, and when Week 16 rolled around, the unthinkable happened. Cousins was benched. The veteran was replaced by rookie Michael Penix Jr., a move that sent shockwaves through the fan base and triggered a tsunami of speculation about what came next. What came next was silence. For weeks, Cousins was more myth than man, his name floating through trade rumor headlines and what-if-fan debates. With a no-trade clause and a massive contract that tied the Falcons' hands financially, his future looked like a question no one could answer. That's what made his appearance at the team's very first voluntary workout so jarring. This wasn't just a veteran showing up to lift weights, this was a statement. And the reactions? Divisive doesn't even begin to cover it. One fan captured the confusion perfectly. Why is Kirk here? Doesn't make sense with all the trade rumors. Another flipped the narrative, posting, regardless of how you feel about his situation, we have to admit he is a true professional. The truth is, Cousins' return raised more questions than it answered. Is this a man quietly fighting for his job? Is he trying to silence critics the only way he knows how, by showing up and working? Or is this the calm before the storm, a last chapter before the inevitable goodbye? But while the quarterback situation steals headlines, the Falcons have even bigger concerns as the NFL draft looms. After finishing 8-9, Atlanta is facing one of its most crucial off-seasons in years. With an aging roster, only 5 draft picks, and limited cap flexibility, GM Terry Fontenot has no room for error. This isn't about patchwork fixes, it's about future-proofing a team that's been stuck in neutral for too long. And one of the most urgent long-term needs? Replacing veterans before the wheels come off. David Onyemata stands out. Entering his 10th NFL season and now 33 years old, Onyemata is one of the few remaining veterans on the defensive line after the surprising release of fan-favorite Grady Jarrett. While Onyemata was solid last season, playing all 17 games with 3 sacks and 8 tackles for loss, his snap count dropped from 63% to 51%. The writing may be on the wall. Fontenot and the front office know this. They've already hosted pre-draft visits with young defensive tackle prospects like T.J. Sanders from South Carolina and Omar Norman-Loft from Tennessee. These aren't just feelers, they're contingency plans. Onyemata might be starting this year, but the Falcons are clearly eyeing his successor, someone who can learn under the vet in 2025 and take over in 2026 when the contract ends. So what does all this mean for the Falcons' direction? With so few picks and a demanding fan base, every decision carries weight. If they gamble on another high-profile rookie quarterback, do they abandon Cousins completely? If they go defense-heavy in the draft, are they playing for now or the future? Every move, every pick, every snap at voluntary workouts sends a message. Let me toss it to you now, Falcons fans. What do you think Kirk Cousins' surprise return really means for this team? Is it redemption in the making or a final act before the curtain falls? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And just like that, the focus of an entire fan base sharpens, not just on one man, but on the direction of a franchise standing at the crossroads. Kirk Cousins' return to the Falcons facility might have stolen the headlines, but what lies beneath is far more layered. This isn't just about QB1 showing up, it's about accountability, leadership, and what happens when the narrative refuses to play by the script. Cousins could have stayed away. He could have waited for clarity on his future or let the trade rumors sort themselves out from the sidelines. But instead, he walked into Flowery Branch with his helmet in hand, embracing uncertainty. If that's not the kind of fire you want in your locker room, even from a quarterback on the hot seat, what is? His early presence might not guarantee a comeback story, but it speaks volumes about his character. And whether you're for or against him, that kind of commitment forces a conversation. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Michael Penix Jr., the rookie sensation, who stepped in during Week 16, immediately brought a jolt of energy to the offense. Penix represented the future, a mobile, dynamic QB with the kind of raw athleticism that Cousins never had. Fans were excited. The media buzzed. But let's not forget, he's still a rookie. Mistakes will come. Growing pains are inevitable. And that makes the Cousins situation even more complex. Do you keep a $180 million quarterback on the bench just in case? Or do you cut bait, take the financial hit, and fully hand over the keys to the new era? Then there's the locker room dynamic. Players respect Cousins. He's a film room junkie, a vocal leader, and a guy who's battled through the highs and lows of a long NFL career. You don't erase that influence overnight. So if you're head coach Raheem Morris, how do you navigate this? How do you balance the future with the now, the potential with the proven? While the quarterback debate rages on, the front office's plate is full. Draft day is around the corner, and the Falcons have only 5 picks to work with, 2 of those in the first 3 rounds. That's not just tight, it's pressure cooker tight. They need impact players, not projects. Positions like edge, cornerback, and safety are glaring holes that must be filled. But every selection they make also sends a signal to the veterans in that locker room. Are we building to win now, or are we rebooting for 2026 and beyond? Take the case of David Onyemata again. His contract still looms large, and while he's penciled in as a starter this season, the Falcons are already vetting his replacements. The visits from T.J. Sanders and Omar Norman-Loft weren't casual. They were strategic. These are linemen who could fit the mold of a modern defensive tackle, quick, explosive, and able to disrupt the pocket. Drafting one of them wouldn't just be about depth. It would be about succession. About sending a clear message that the future starts now. And let's not overlook the subtle roster shifts that are setting the tone. Kyle Pitts adding senior to his jersey after welcoming a child in November might seem small, but it's symbolic of maturity, of legacy. Divine Deablo stepping into the 0 jersey once worn by Lorenzo Carter isn't just about fashion. It's about identity. About taking up a mantle. Leonard Floyd wearing number 56 echoes tradition and responsibility, nodding to legends while forging a new chapter. These aren't just jersey changes. They're cultural markers inside the building. Then there's the re-signing of Kaderil Hodge, who moves to number 4, and the return of Philippe Franks to his old number 15. These changes are subtle but significant. They show that while the Falcons are changing, they're also keeping players who know the system, the routine, and the locker room dynamics. Continuity matters in a league driven by chaos. All of this leads to a central tension. How do the Falcons balance the urgency of winning now with the need to build for tomorrow? Can they balance experience and youth, loyalty and performance, salary cap space and draft strategy? I want to hear your thoughts. So like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Go Falcons!